So welcome to perhaps the saddest episode you will ever hear in a podcast in your life. I'm hosting here today Guy Dreyfus, which is a good friend of mine and also a party promoter here in Israel, DJ agent. For those who don't know, Guy make a lot of big parties here in Israel. He a DJ agent of big DJs here in Israel that play all over the world. And from last Saturday, the lives here in Israel have changed. Our lives, my life, Guy's life, our friends' life changed. And who knows when we will be able to return to a normal life ever. Because last Saturday, hundreds of Hamas terrorists entered to Israel. They wanted just to, wow, it's hard for me to say it, because it's like a boom. It's like first time I talk in in front of a camera and not just in a phone or something like this. But they entered to Israel in a purpose to kill, slaughtered people. I don't know what kind of human can do it. I don't know, maybe animals. I can't describe. And our friends, many friends of ours was in a party. They partied. And in the sunrise, which is, the when the magic start to happen in a party, all these terrorists came inside and start to slaughter and kidnap people. I don't want to say words like rape, but yes, many of our friends were killed, hide in bushes for hours, kidnapped into Gaza. And today I was in a funeral of one of my friends who was there in the party, and I saw many guys who was in the party and in some way ran out from all this shooting there. And our Instagram and Facebook right now in these days is like just see this friend died, this friend died, this friend died. You can't choose what funeral you go, because there is so many. And it's my feeling is like it's very hard to go outside. Everything is closed. No bars, no coffee shops, no school, of course no parties. Guy, give me a bit of your opinion. This episode is gonna be a talk between me and Guy as two nightlife people who want to share for each other the feelings.
Yeah, it's when you ask me, it was something that I was thinking about. I think we are now like in the fifth day of since Saturday. Like the whole country is going through a huge trauma together as a whole country. Like it can this mass killing and brutality of the actions that were impacting each one of us. Doesn't matter what age and where you come from and what is our political view at all. So it doesn't matter in politic. So it cannot be a political view because this is not politics. This is not army fighting army. This is like just a brutal terror attack on innocent people, unarmed people, peaceful people. Most of the people are actually activists for peace and human rights. So this shocking thing is just keeping, I think everyone is going through something very difficult like never before. I think everyone feels like whatever has been until now like there is one point when everything changed, and it's this point, like it will be everything we had before this and what will be after this. It's so strong and impactful on all of us. So I I think we're going through a lot of, like, everyone here, each one, of course, with his own methods to deal with this insane news we're getting every day. And like one said, um, um, the news just keep on coming and coming, like it's not ending. So whatever, we see numbers for days now. I'm just thinking about, yeah, we said 100, 200, 500. The numbers, they don't count anymore. It's like it doesn't matter. It's just they just keep on rising and rising. So it's not a matter also if 100 died or 200. It's like the pain is the same pain, but it's so brutal. The numbers are just not, like, this is the worst thing that happened to Israel since the Holocaust, basically, to the Jews in general.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think everyone is going through a different phase. So I think we have a lot. There was like shock, there's anger, there is sadness, there is mourning. Like everyone has the different phases, and it hits you like wave by wave. So we have also been, many people try to express their pain in doing things, in writing posts, in editing videos of these things, just to try and somehow work with this crazy trauma. And it's just impossible to explain how, like you said, everything is closed. Like no one is forced to close anything, but the solidarity is just as one. There's not one place that is open or people want to sit there now. Everyone is very concerned with the things happening. And yeah, and we are devastated that, of course, that every terror attack on civilians and innocent people is terrible. But when it happens in a party, something that we are working in, like that's our life, we are partying, it's everyone there, we know the organizers, we know the people going there, we know the DJs, we know everyone. It's like it's our family. So this was like an attack on my really closest family as I see it. And yeah, it's very, very difficult to understand this crazy shit.
And it's so crazy that we are on the fifth day, and still we get names of people who died, and some of them it's hard to recognize if the body of this guy or this guy, because most of the bodies are burned, or I don't know what they did there. But imagine like 5 days of friends and families are looking for their children's
Yeah,
brothers, sisters, and no one knows what happened with them. They kidnapped, they are still hiding, was killed in the bushes over there. And
there's a lot of uncertainty. People
yeah,
are
the main thing right now, the main thing that people are talking is like how people can do things like this. It's some of the people say like maybe it's aliens, maybe it's animals, but
well,
it's
animals don't do this stuff. Animals are much better. So don't offend the animals.
yeah, you're
But
right. You're totally right.
I
And
think my
mhm.
my biggest breakdown is from humanity. It's like I have lost faith in humanity through these kind of actions. You don't understand how a human being can be so like so brutal. And it's like it's impossible for, I think, for any of us to understand this kind of brutality, because I'm really not standing by our government's decisions for the last years, and many of us are not, but still I know that we are fighting in these, of course, very crazy rules, but we fight within the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is something which is just, it's not something that you can in any way um, say this is a freedom fight, this is a fight for our justice, this is a fight for our people, um, because it's not. It's just a
Now,
terror group, and like one of the most brutal terror groups ever existing. And this needs to be known. And the problem is also for the people in Gaza that in the end they control them and they are the controllers there. I'm pretty sure that many are very not happy with this situation, because
yeah,
no one wants to be controlled by any aggressive group. So my heart goes out also for the innocent people of Gaza in the end that also have to suffer from this shit. And I'm pretty sure there are also people who would want to live a normal life. But if this exists and this is the leadership, that like this is, you have to just feel the consequence of that. Like we feel the consequence of our government and fucking up. It's the same shit.
exactly,
Like
exactly,
our government is fucking up, we have to get the consequence, whatever it is. So this is how it goes, and it's very sad, but it's, yeah.
nothing can justify things like this, because sometimes I get calls from people who went there to take the bodies from the villages and from the party, and people say it's things that they never seen in their life. Like, it's not just they shoot someone and kill them, it's they burn bodies, they take them all their head off,
Yeah.
babies. It's very, very hard to say, and I don't want to be, so dramatic, but this is the situation right now.
No, it is
And
the worst nightmare beyond any imaginable thing that you can think. Like when I think of the worst movies I saw in my life, and I never, the worst, like it doesn't get like this. Like this is like all of the horror movies together in one and in real life. And like we've seen also for us, all of us have seen the videos. You cannot overlook them because it comes up. If it's in Telegram or then on social media, but you will see it, it will come up. So we've seen things that have ruined our souls forever, and ruined all a lot of souls around the world. Like this thing, in the end, people feel the pain more and more, from my opinion. And what in the beginning was more like people on the bit on the thinking how to respond, and there was also a lot of like critic of like you have to share, you have to, but I'm saying like there shouldn't be like any stress on anyone. Everyone has to share with his own time. Some people need more time to think. It's not like a race to to do it, So
Mhm.
just in the end, it's very important that everyone will know what we're dealing with here, which is the
Mhm.
most important thing, because it's not like something that we as a democracy can really like fight against, because it's not like a democracy against a democracy. It's like democracy against terror group, and this fight is a bit complicated. So it's a very difficult situation.
It's humanity
And
against terror. This is what is this.
in the end, exactly, that's it. In the end, it's exactly that. That's what I'm saying. It's humanity against terror.
It's because many people now in the, for example, in the WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, like Israeli people have anger inside them of friends from abroad, DJs and clubs and big DJ sites that they are not sharing or supporting. First, I was like this too, but second, I can understand DJs who wants first to see the big picture of what happened, which is not so hard to see. And like we said, you don't have to say Israel against Palestine or something like this. You just have to say humanity against the terror, because nothing really, like I said, nothing can justify what happened, and everybody should come against this, because I heard one of the guys who was in the party, and he said to the cameras, imagine what it's to be in the sunrise when you're totally high and totally waiting for the sunrise to be like the most to get the most, of the party. And then you see terror attack in front of you, and then you start to run, and then people start to shoot on you. Even you survive this, your life will never be the same again.
No, of course.
Never.
Of course. Look, we have not been in the party, and look like how we feel, and everyone who was not in the whole country. So the survivors of the party will. This is a trauma that no one can imagine what they will live with, and it's a very, very sad thing that we will have to live with many years now. Many people that have been very, very injured and impacted by that. So it will be first, it's of course the most scary possible way, and like that it will happen in a party exactly at this time. Of course, it's the worst thing that can happen, but the consequences, they're so heavy. So yeah, there will be many people that will need our help and support and love to somehow overcome this crazy trauma.
Now I say to all my friends, first take care of yourself, or of your own take care of yourself of your own, because after you're gonna need to take care of your friends and family and boyfriends, girlfriend, children's. As a DJ agent, what the situation now with your international DJs, like the Israeli DJs, none of them play outside right now?
No, all of the artists have canceled their shows for now until further notice. Like we will all have to wait and see what's going on. So we don't feel we can do this right now. And so for now they are here. It depends what will happen and change, and we still have shows, and so it's not we didn't cancel like 3 months ahead, but we canceled the coming weeks, and we will see what's going to be next. And yeah, I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to be next. We don't know when we're coming back and how we will come back after this thing, how it will impact our lives and our lives as people who go to parties, to festivals, the feeling, it will be I think our whole music scene will, and of course the whole country is changing. So obviously the music scene also, but the music scene has got like a very direct hit to a lot of people that are in our areas and come to our events and come to our parties, and so many close people that have died and kidnapped and still unknown. So it's a direct hit that we received, which is very painful for all of us, and everyone is there is not one in Israel today, I think, that does not suffer from this. So,
and the situation now in Israel is like that. I think it's the first time from when I live that the whole country is really, 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 really like unite, and the nightlife now is dealing only with explaining the world what we are going through. It's beautiful to see, from my opinion, a lot of WhatsApp groups of the whole DJs from all over the world, that explaining to their colleagues, and we are sharing a lot of movies and stuff about what happened right now. So it's, in my opinion, it's crazy to see things like this.
I
That
think we just everyone, is helping how it can. I think like everyone is volunteering and going out, and people that do creative, people that, everyone is doing what they can to do it. I think we're just going through a very confusing time, and it's very hard we are very emotional in it. So I still think the pressure of just, it doesn't matter. Of course, it matters that people share the story, but it's not like everyone just should do it when they feel it's right. You have to do it, from my opinion. You have to be involved in such a, like I would also be active, I think, if something like that would happen. So I would definitely be there.
you had
Um,
talks with the friends from outside. What you told them? Big DJs, big promoters, clubs owners. What you say them?
Basically, I didn't I got a lot of messages from a lot of friends from all over the world, of course, DJs and festivals and promoters and everyone we spoke, and there was a lot of support and yeah, a lot of compassion and support. um, I'm not. I never tell anyone to do something. This is not my way. I don't think it's also going to change. I think in the end, this is our fate. Like whoever wants to share the story can share it. Our job is to get it out as much as we can, and to involve the people that want to be involved, just to know our story. But I think it's a matter that we are all very, very sad, and we are trying to hang on to something. So I also feel like there's a lot of pressure on artists to post it. I don't think it's specifically right to do this like extreme pressure. Usually it makes the opposite, from my opinion.
And yes,
But
but now
but
we
I
are.
do
Mhm. Yeah, Kiki.
yeah, but I do understand, and it is important that everyone will just speak out. I'm just saying like everything is okay. I just say take in mind that we're all very like in an emotional involved thing, and in the end I'm sure that everyone will show their support. Whoever needs to show the support will show the support. So it's not about him showing or him showing, but yeah, we need to raise the awareness, and what we're doing now is exactly that we talk to people about it and do it. It's raising the awareness. So it's very important that we're doing it, because we are basically almost the only one who's doing it, like because the government is not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So the civilians have to do it. Many are doing it, but this is really our job here to tell the story. So we're doing it right. So I'm just saying, of course, I believe you need to use your power as an artist also to say things that are, sometimes not only about music. I always think you should not like, I'm not saying you have to do it if you're not like that, but I always think you should give out, and
Mm-hmm.
not only, yeah.
And when I see people are who wants to threaten other DJs about if you don't post, blah blah blah. And while we're talking, I see a post in a Instagram page who called Yala Techno, and they post. It's not a story; it's a post, and they say, "Dear artist, if you want to support Israel for any reason, please be aware that if you plan to visit Arab world for an upcoming performance, social media social media platforms may hinder your ability to enter the country or host the event." While we
Yeah,
talk, right now about that we don't want to convince people or to threat people, the other side do what we don't want to do, and it's make it make a lot of other DJs, maybe it's make a good work for us, but it's make other DJs to shut up,
yeah.
many people that we
That's
love, friends.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just saying, everyone just is going through a very difficult time. Everyone wants to release stress and pressure, and I don't feel it is the right way to do it on the DJs and pressure to post, and definitely not to threat them, because we're doing the opposite. But I just say I understand why people do it. Everyone is confused, so in the end, it's a confusing time. Like I don't think it's the right thing, but everyone processes it differently. When you're an artist, you're getting these messages, but and all of them get them when they play Israel, so that's always like that anyway. So
Yeah,
you know
and it's crazy how this, for example, this page see that to come against terror, it support Israel. You understand? It's like it's to be crazy to think that if you come against the terror, you support Israel. No, we come against the terror because terror is not, it's not humanity. We come against the terror. We are not against. We are not support Israel. We come against the terror. For example, me as Israeli, I support Israel and I'm against the terror for sure. And a lot of other DJs from all over the world that really, really, really likes us, they support Israel. They support Israel and against the terror. But a lot of DJs that I saw just come against the terror and didn't say Israel, blah, 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 or free Palestine. They say just against things against the terror, because what the fuck, you don't understand what happened. They butchered people, they slaughtered, they they took babies and burned them. Uh, how you can say that someone is support Israel? Nobody's support Israel, they come against the terror.
yeah,
And
it's just confusing. I think everyone is very confused, and
mhm,
it's um it's an ongoing thing. It's not like people have opinions, so many of them are many of the people anyway are brainwashed by a lot of stuff. Most of us are brainwashed, and no one really knows what's going on.
mhm,
So it's the never ending story, but in the end it's our fight. We need our job, like for what we do in the end is just to let people know what the real story is, and whoever is going to check the facts really is going to see the facts, and the facts are sometimes for us and sometimes against us. But in the end, Israel will always be the country that has not seeked for war and have not seeked for. Israel was only defending herself. Like Israel is
mhm,
not an attacking country, and it doesn't matter what my opinions are, and I'm not like my opinions are general, much more left. So it doesn't matter, you have someone which is not playing your game, and it doesn't matter if you are humane, the other side is not humane, it's not the same game. So, and it's always something that we remember after a few years when something like that happened, but it happened over since we are here.
mhm.
So it will always be our fight. You know, in the end, we have just forgotten it a little bit because it has been relatively quiet with some, you know, but yeah, it's something we have to live with, and politics is a different podcast. So there's a lot of shit talking about politics, but of course, in the end, it's not about no one. Like there are, you know, it one, you never do something like that. It's the worst of the worst that you can ever imagine doing. And second, we have to defend ourselves and know how to defend ourselves.
So, what's next?
I think we don't know.
Mhm.
I think we really don't know. I do know that we are, you know, we are survivors. We have always survived. So
Mhm.
we will be, we will get over it someday. Um, like not get over it, but you know, the life will continue. We have had a lot of have had we
Mhm.
had we had many casualties over the years. Like, you know, this fight is never over. So for me also, all the losses we had over the years, it's a very, very sad thing that we are living with in a country, and we are getting used to it. And it's terrible that we have gotten used to people dying, and now many people died at once, and now suddenly everyone is aware. But over the years, we have lost many, many people to
Mhm.
terror attacks, and it's something that also in the talk about Israel and the politics, you know, people don't understand what it is to live with like constant terror attacks, and it was always brutal. It was always against civilians. It was always like, so yeah, political thing is a big problem. Um, for my opinion, if we had a good government that would be a professional government, it's for my opinion what I was thinking about like in the last days, that it doesn't matter at all if it's a left or a right wing government, because that's not about being the government. Left or right is maybe interesting for being a minister of like exterior minister, or you know, something like which has the Israeli, but it's not something that needs to be in the other places. It should be professional government with professional people in the professional places. Like, you know, it's very easy to do it. Just we just have people who have no qualification to do this job, and this is, it doesn't matter if it's left or right. I tell you, it doesn't matter. I don't care about it. Just bring me professional people, and their political side should not be a big issue if they are a minister of something, you know.
Mhm.
Maybe it has some a little bit, but it shouldn't be, you know. So, and we don't have anyone which is doing their job today. And I think it's a big lesson, because I think it's maybe the most right-wing government we had, and it failed totally in security. And what always the story was, right wing is security,
Mhm.
and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And I'm not saying you need to go left or right. I don't care. I want professional people doing these jobs. I want someone in charge of the army that will be an army guy. I want something who will be in charge of law, that he will be a very law professor, whatever. You know, you cannot just have people which they don't have any idea and do this job. And that doesn't work anymore.
It's a
So
joke,
I
yeah.
think this is a change that I really hope that will happen. Not that it's not, definitely not the fault of the government of what happened. Yeah, of course. Like, this is not the fault of the government. The fault of the government is how bad it happened. That's their fault. That it happened, this is only Hamas. Like, there's no question about like I would never say this is like a reaction to something that Israel did, because it's not. It's just a pure aggression terror attack. So, it's not that, but it's our government's fault that they didn't stop it, that they were not prepared, and people will have to give, people will have to go to jail, for my opinion, for this. Like in a normal country, people go to jail with such a,
Yeah, with such a fail like this.
Mhm.
And
People died because of people, because it definitely could have been different. Like, and we all know it. We all know it. It could have been very different.
now there is a lot of fear in the streets. People afraid to walk, people afraid to drive in the car, people afraid of their families that live far away from them. Many of my friends and even I moved to live like 3 or 4 days at my family, and now I just back. And it's very hard to live like this when you're afraid. And I say, like, it will be very hard to return to normal life someday, of partying, of dating, of everything. It will be, it's look like, so far from us now to go and party in the nature, for example.
I think to go back to party will be the most difficult thing imaginable. Like, I cannot think about having a party not indoor, not outdoor. Like, I cannot, it's very hard for me to think about it now. When will be the first party that we come back? When can we celebrate again? I don't know. It looks very far away in my eyes. I cannot think about it even. Really, it's unthinkable, like when this is going to come back, and how people will feel, and how what's will never be the same again to party in Israel. Never. Will never be the same again. Maybe in 20 years, when people start to forget, some people,
In our generation, it will never be the same again.
also not for the 20-year-olds, which many of them have died, So yeah, 20-year-olds, but for all the generations, none. 20, 30, 40, any,
Because
which
imagine
generation?
every of, like, each people who gonna listen to this that not live in Israel, imagine that, for example, only from the party, maybe it's around 300 people who died, something like this, maybe more, 400,
More. It's gonna be more,
400,
definitely.
500. And imagine 500 people from small scene in Israel. It means that everyone knows everyone that affect this guy and this guy and this guy, and like,
Of course.
it's crazy. Like, everybody that gonna be in the parties here in Israel, in Tel Aviv, in all over of Israel, know someone or was with
Everyone is
someone.
affected. Everyone. Everyone is affected. There is
Everyone is affected.
not one person in Israel will go to a party and will feel the same. Not one. Will never be the same. It will never be the same. It's like, it will never be the same. I just cannot imagine. It just will be different. It will be, in the end, we will overcome everything, but because we are people and we do it, it's what we do. We overcome shit, but it's never gonna be the same.
We lost lots of our friend, and today, like I said, I was in a funeral, and the only thing that they said there, the father of the friend who died, they always talk about love and live the life, and like, everybody just keep on saying, love, live the life,
Yeah.
keep on living. it's hard, you know. I think at the beginning maybe people are gonna make a lot of parties, like remembering parties. Like I thinking, sorry for thinking about the future, but
Of
this is,
course, yeah.
but I think first it's gonna be like remembering parties. Imagine how it's to be like to make a remembering parties. This is what gonna be for the future now. And you know, in Israel, like you said before, we used to terror attacks, we used to wars and stuff like this, but it was never something like this from, people say, like from the Holocaust. um, Something like this. Maybe 200, 2,000 people got slaughtered, and I don't
Yeah,
say people, you know, was
yeah,
asleep, but it's so hard to talk about it, and to understand that this is our life right now. You talk with people, say, "How are you?" Shit. It's like people don't say good morning anymore, just say morning.
yeah.
This is the situation right now. Nobody is talking about something good, because you can't, like, okay, the good thing that, like, okay, maybe they are doing good in the war, and they control Gaza. I don't know, this is not good for me. The good for me is that the life will be back here someday. This is when people
Of
start to
course, it's
say good
like,
morning.
the revenge is obviously happening, and we need to revenge our people, and that's no question about it. But for me, it's not satisfying, so I have no satisfaction from it. My concern is like yours. It's like we need to get back to our life and like build together, our society that was very broken also before. And if it will have, I'm sorry to say that I don't really believe in humanity. So it's a dream that this will, maybe as a society, will teach us a lesson to be much more together,
Mm-hmm.
because politics shit, it's bullshit. We need professional government that knows what they do, and like really just kick everyone out and bring a whole new system or whatever. I don't know. Like we should everything needs to change. And
We need to, as a people, we need to be more unite, and
yeah,
choose
we have to be united.
our own government together as a unite nation. And I hope for a better days, Guy. I hope for the next time we talk about music again, talk about career again, we talk about parties again, we talk about, you know, life again. But it's look really, really far, to be honest. And again, thank you for coming and share your thoughts with me.
Thank you.
Have a good night, and let's keep on work on the explain people from outside what is the situation right now,
All right.
my bro.